it's just terror. It's terrifying. Terrifying. I mean, just to think of those poor people just contemplating and wondering what's happened to their loved and dear ones. It's just very, very sad.
And how was your visit in general? I mean, did you get to talk to people, see what they're doing? I think this was a very saddest situation, but I think it also gives a lot of people, because it did hit a very strong Jewish community, the opportunity to go back home.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was fascinating, to spend time in the communities there. As I mentioned, I was in New York, and one thing I did learn a lot about, in a short period of time, is just the strength of the Jewish community in New York and Miami. How they stick together, they go on holiday together, they do deals together, they invest together. It's just wonderful and so heartwarming to see how communities look after each other in Israel, around the world. And now that I've been exposed to it in the US, it's just an unbelievable experience, and really heartwarming to see how our nation looks after each other in times of good times and in bad times.
So let's go to the beginning a little bit. How did you get to work in the real estate business? What brought you into this world to begin with?
Passion for Israel, plain and simple. I don't know, for those that can hear and identify, I'm a South African, ex-South African. I lived in South Africa until 5 years ago. My wife and I and our 2 children made a decision to make Aliyah. We'd thought about it, discussed it, didn't really have any concrete plans, but our kids got to an age and we thought it was a good opportunity to do so. And what I had done prior to that, a few years before that, in my planning, I wanted to invest into Israeli real estate. I wanted to have an asset here. I wanted to have real estate in Israel. And I met the CEO of the company at the time. His name was Ari Shapiro. He was a second generation business. His dad spent many years doing this. I met him and I listened to some advice that he gave me, and I was very blessed that I was able to invest in a property. I did it with 2 friends. I didn't have all the capital at the time. And I got involved in real estate in Israel as a customer. When I decided to make Aliyah, excuse me, I liked him. I liked the business. I met the people. I loved the investment. And I said to him, I'm coming to live in Israel. Like most Olim that make Aliyah, you try and reinvent yourself. So you're able to earn a living. And I got involved in a wonderful, wonderful real estate company called Hold Real Estate. Been there for 5 years, and thank God we expanded.
Can you tell us what makes Hold Real Estate to be so special? Because I know for myself that when I was looking for a partner in our...
Sorry, Ron, I've lost you for some reason.
And
Ron, I've lost you.
Have you lost me? No. Yeah, you have lost me.
Can't hear you, Ron.
I can enhance it. Can you hear me now?
Can't hear you, Ron.
Can you hear me now, Julian? We are facing a little bit of a difficulties. Can you hear me now? Let's see that we can actually get. Can you hear me? Let's see. Julian?
Hello, Ron.
Yes, I can hear you. Let's see if you can hear me again. I'll try and do this. Yes, now we can. Julian? You can't hear me? You can't hear me? Let's see if I can check.
Ron, for some reason, I've lost you.
Yeah, I know. From some weird reason, I can hear you, but you can't hear me. Let's try and see if I can fix it, because I can hear you clear and everybody else can hear us. Let's see.
Ron, I'm going to try and reconnect on another device.
All right. Let's try and do it that way. Technical difficulties are always interesting. Let's try and do it the other way around. All right. So here I am. I do know that there was a little bit of an issue with the broadcast on our Facebook pages. I do have it running on the YouTube channel, so I will try to make this connection at the beginning of our session that from some weird reason did not went live at the time that we started, and I will put it on the Facebook page on both, so we'll be able to do it. I'm still waiting for Julian to join us back. As we're waiting for Julian to come back, I do want to describe a little bit about the process that we've done in the Sinai Connection for that. And here he comes to tell us a little bit about what's going on. Can you hear me now, Julian?
Yeah, Ron, I'm so sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Everybody could hear you. You just couldn't hear us. All is good. We're back into the question that I wanted to ask you is actually what makes Hold Real Estate to be so special. And I did start saying to the audience here that part of what we've been doing in creating the Sinai Connection was looking for partners that will sit in our set of values that we wanted to give to the clients that we are working with. And one of them, as we got to know each other, was the will to actually give service in ways that we are not accustomed to in Israel. And we all know that this issue of service and Israelis sometimes collide and not in a nice way. So please, if you can, just give us a little bit of what's so special about Hold as a company.
Yeah, great. I think, Ron, to just start off with, I think, when I first met you, Ron, and your organization, your company called the Sinai Connection, it's something that did struck me about you was your passion for two things. One was your passion for our country, Israel, was a passion for your customers, who you bring to show your passion, and it comes through so clearly. And I see that care, and I knew that our companies would be aligned very, very easily and very, very quickly, which has proven to be the case. So it's been wonderful working with you. I think really what we do is where our expertise is in getting foreign people who live overseas invested in Israeli real estate. That's what we focus on. It is complicated. Some of the complications are that we're trading here in Hebrew and our customers are overseas speaking English and other languages. So we provide that buffer. We have a legal services team where we provide all the legal work. What's important about that is that the lawyer on the team represents you, the customers. So he looks after you. His interest is you in the deal. Whatever happens in both English and in Hebrew. So you get to understand what you're signing. He then takes that forward and signs the agreements. We also have, very important, is a commercial division where, we look after the banking. We open up bank accounts for foreigners, and we're able to do that remotely as well. So we open up bank accounts. We ensure that the funds are transferred into bank accounts. And very importantly, it's your bank account. It's not our bank account. You control the bank account. So we look after the bank accounts. We make sure that payments are scheduled and made on time. We also have an operational team of project managers on the ground who look after the apartments, whether it's in a project. They ensure that it's built according to specifications. We have pre-delivery inspections. We make sure that the apartments are delivered as required, and then we do management as well.
So in a way, I can say that in a way, it actually fits everything as we spoke before. The concept of doing an A to Z approach, from the idea of just wanting to get a investment in real estate in Israel, no matter what the investment is, whether it is for a personal use or an investment, whether it is commercial or other. You're there from first stages of scouting the property to maintaining it afterwards. And for me, this is the most important thing, is because we are working together, and those connection is really important, and it's important for me to actually expose it to our audiences. How are you really, as Hold Real Estate, is connection with the Sinai Connection works? I mean, how does this connection works in terms of our work together?
So I think, one thing that I've done is spend time with Ron and just, with his understanding of the country. And ours is a second generation business. So there's a deep, deep knowledge of real estate in Israel. And, I think that the connections, and one of the things about property ownership remotely is all about the trust factor. And, the dealings I have done with Ron is that people do trust him. So, Ron is the funnel through to us, make contact with him. I think just to highlight one very, very important point in investing in real estate, residential real estate in Israel through the Sinai Connection and through Hold Real Estate, is that any money that gets transferred, it goes into the property developers bank. So there's a financing bank in all these projects. The financing bank, they receive the money, they manage the money, not myself, not Ron, the financing bank, and they give you a bank guarantee for your money. So that's essential, that's very, very important. The money goes into a financing bank and they issue you with a bank guarantee during the process. So the money is safe and secure. The trust factor with Ron is safe and secure. Our many years of experience in Israeli residential property is safe and secure. And we look forward to welcome you into our world.
All right. So in order to actually sum it up with a little bit of a positive notion, do you have anything that that is running right now, or that is a very prosperous opportunity that arise as a result of this recent COVID year that actually affected investments all over the world? How did that affected Israel? And did it actually created a situation of buying?
Absolutely. So what happened last year, very briefly, in COVID, is that I think there was two things. One is, firstly and foremost, is that property prices in Israel did increase marginally last year during COVID, which is a great sign. It held on its own. Prices did go up. And I think what people Jews around the world realize is that the first time ever that Jews were not allowed to come to Israel. And I think that not scared people, but it made them a little bit more concerned. I think, unfortunately, with anti-Semitism around the world, what's happening is, real estate in Israel is becoming now something on people's radar, that they want to invest in Israel. It's whether it's emotional investment, whether it's something for children who are coming to yeshivas or want to be on Tel Aviv beach near universities. We cater right across the board. And what I am finding on, you mentioned the beautiful beaches in Israel. We're finding that there's some magnificent opportunities coming up in Netanya, which is just outside of Tel Aviv. It's got amazing transport systems. There's a lot going on in the city, and you're on the beach.
Yeah, I love Netanya. I have a very soft spot to Netanya as a kid. We used to have an apartment there, so nice. I used to be on the beach there. My sister lives not far away. I do have a very warm sport towards Netanya. A beautiful city.
And then there are other opportunities right across the board. You can get in for $1 million shekels, $1 million, $10 million. There's Jerusalem, Tel Aviv. Renana's got some amazing opportunities. We've got a great project in Tel Aviv. Amazing student accommodation coming up in Haifa. So just wonderful opportunities to get into the real estate in Israel at different levels.
That sounds so great. Now, Julian, I do want to sum it up, because I do want to have you back again with us in the next meeting. I do want to talk a little bit further over how things actually work, how these deals can be made, go a little bit down to the details that might scare people. And I do want to take those fears away, in a way, and leave only the will to use things together. It's been a pleasure to have you with me. I know that you completely jet lagged. You just landed a few hours ago. I do want to let you off and go to your family. It's been a pleasure having you with me. Thanks so much.
Thank you,
I do appreciate you coming.
Nice to chat. We'll be in touch.
All right, great.
Good.
So, my friends, with this positive notion, I want to conclude by inviting you all to visit our website, the place that we will give you the ability to stay in touch with the country throughout the year, even if you will not be able to physically arrive. I would love to connect with you and reveal to you this blessed country and what this blessed country has to give you. Let's stay connected. Talk to us at the SinaiConnection.com, and I'll see you again on Monday. Have a great day. Good night.